तूने वो न्यूज़ नहीं देखी when Anthony Fauci and Joe Biden came after Joe Rogan?
No, not at all. क्या था?
So first of all, Joe Rogan ने जब से Spotify पे sign किया है, and
Yeah.
his episodes are now streaming on Spotify. I think there was a protest in one of Spotify's office. If you continue having Joe Rogan on your company, we will leave because he's quote unquote transphobic.
Transphobic? What?
This is real. सही में हुआ था ये, genuinely हुआ था. And Joe Rogan clarified it on his podcast that we really didn't get a message from Spotify, and I didn't get anything that you should say this or you should not say this. I have complete freedom with Spotify, and I don't know what happened. He didn't know what happened, and he was like, I can't say anything about that. So Joe Rogan became famous about the whole like he got labeled of being transphobic when he said like trans women, that is men who are now women, should not be allowed to compete in sports in the female category, in like wrestling or athletics or stuff like that, which require your physical strength or physical acumen.
Yeah, that's true. That should be. Yeah, because males have a lot of testosterone. There's science behind
obviously, it. Obviously, you've been a man for 20 years, then you turn into a woman and you go into a wrestling match.
Acting as a female, so they should have their own category. Like, yeah, if you are a non-binary gender, you can definitely get yourself your own category.
Exactly, but they don't want to be. Like the whole thing about that was they don't want to be like excluded. Like it's another category. They're a woman now, you know.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
I'm not having any opinion here. मैं बस वो quote कर रहा हूँ that the point of what they were saying was that they don't want to be excluded. And when Joe Rogan said that, this is bonkers. Like he basically came out like, what are you guys doing? This is because it's not just win or lose. Like female athletes are in college in America. There's like college wrestling and collegiate level sports is like very high level there. So they're paying their scholarships. They're paying their scholarships because of their sport. And if a guy who's a trans woman comes in and beats their asses to the ground, they would lose that scholarship, man. It's not like win or lose. This is lives.
It is.
So he got labeled transphobic because of that. Basically, that started the whole thing. So Spotify के headquarters में there was like a protest or something, but that वो हो गया था solve. अभी recently Joe Rogan was on a podcast with Action Bronson. I don't know क्या नाम है उसका. So he was talking about vaccines. So he was making the point that if you are a young healthy person, like he was saying, what he said was, if a 21-year-old came to me and asked me, that a young 21-year-old who has like his immunity in order and his health in order, that I live alone and I'm a young 21-year-old who's healthy, should I take the vaccine? And so he said, like, I would say no. Maybe you don't need he said you don't need the vaccine.
Yeah.
And internet blew up. And Fauci came up and said, Joe Rogan is wrong and you should definitely take the vaccine. And Joe Biden said, did Joe Rogan become a doctor when we were not looking, or something like that? Imagine the president of your country coming after you because you have such an influence. But I don't think Joe Rogan was wrong, man. I don't think so. Obviously, the whole point of it that you should be socially responsible and take the vaccine, even if you don't need it. You could be a carrier and cause vaccines to other people. And उसने clarify भी किया था. Right. But his point was that if you said that to me, that's another argument. And I would agree with you. But I'm talking specifically about a 21-year-old who lives alone, who's healthy, has his immunity in order. Does that person need a vaccine? No. Should he take it or not? Is it socially responsible or not? Who is he meeting? Who is he living with? Those are other arguments, and I probably agree with you. That's what he said.
Yeah, so basically we need a lot of fixing. A lot of fixing.
But again, Joe Rogan is such a big name, and he's tied to a corporation, which
Now.
is like as left as you can go.
Yeah, Spotify is pretty left. I've heard.
Obviously, it's meant to be left, right? Musicians के साथ काम करती है. It's a music streaming app.
Yeah.
What's more creative and liberal than music?
Yeah.
It has to be left, na? But Joe Rogan is such a big name that वो कुछ भी बोलता है, it's news. अभी उसने कुछ woke culture, cancel culture, and मेरे को आना था इस point पे. हमने पहले भी बात करी थी इस पे.
Yeah.
काफी अच्छा ट्रांजिशन हुआ है ये, मजा आ गया. उसने अभी कुछ woke culture पे भी बोल दिया.
हाँ.
And there is backlash again. US की जो वो है न्यूज मीडिया जो इंटरनेट पे नहीं है, basically left media, they are attacking Joe Rogan again, and that he said some bad things about woke culture and stuff, and he's facing backlash again. But the point is that people don't realize he doesn't care.
Exactly, that's the point. They're missing
He
out
doesn't
on the
care.
point. Nobody
He's
cares.
like, yeah.
I feel that when you are at a level and your actions are recorded by everyone, so at that point of time I believe that you should stop caring. I mean, live yourself your way, because now Joe Rogan telling out the masses, Joe Rogan speaking about his own opinion, telling people what he thinks. So he should not care while telling all that, because I know a lot of I've seen this happening in India. A lot of media houses, they twist and turn the words, and then it goes against them. Then it is portrayed in a manner, I'll take some names. That's the Quint, the Print, Tatva, Squint Neon. all these even I used to follow Faye D'Souza a lot, but sometimes I do feel that she's
It's like
taking a
it's
side, she's picking, but I consider her to be the very centrist journal, Faye D'Souza.
Yeah.
She's very centered, but
He?
she Faye D'Souza, yeah.
You be careful with those pronouns.
I'm very careful. Faye D'Souza ji. So she is the most centrist journalist that I've ever came across on social media, and I follow you, ma'am. And sometimes I feel that the story that she has put up, or the post that she shares with text written on a grey background, that's classic Faye D'Souza style. So sometimes I feel the whole story is missing. Only that part of story is highlighted, which criticizes something, which is benefiting someone. So I sometimes feel, so even Squint Neon, that's the most rightest media outlet that you can follow on Instagram these days, Squint Neon. And
But they're
Squint
outright,
Neon
like they're
outright, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
so
to interrupt, but I don't think they are saying that they are centrist.
even I feel Tatva that you mentioned, Tatva Media House, even I feel that they're centered. They
I don't think
criticize the government a lot.
But they've twisted some things in the past. That is undeniable.
Yeah, sometimes, they exactly my point. Sometimes people show that part of the story that is benefiting to themselves as individuals or as corporations. So that's why Joe Rogan is getting targeted and facing those backlashes, because those corporations are benefiting from, hampering someone who is already famous. If I fight tomorrow Salman Bhai, Salman Bhai won't give a shit about me, but it's me getting the fame. It is me that is going up. So those corporations are lifting themselves up in the name of Joe Rogan. So
because when you tie yourself with someone of that stature,
exactly,
he doesn't care, but you can get a step ahead.
The fame. Jake Paul. I don't know.
Jake Paul.
That motherfucker needs to fight anyone.
Jake Paul, Conor McGregor.
Exactly.
When Conor was the man, at the top of his game, he didn't need anyone.
Exactly.
Now that he is lost, he tweets out something for every other person who's getting an attention, whether it's Poirier or Usman or any fighter who wins.
Anything. He is his fingers are itching.
And young fighters, like, and if there are young fighters coming up, they say things to corner out of nowhere, because if they attach themselves to that name,
yeah, exactly.
It's a stepping stone for them.
Exactly. That's their fame. You know, their work to their pathway towards fame. I've seen a lot of people. You know, I can say, like, let's take this as my opinion. Okay, I've noticed this comedian.
Opinion again.
Yeah, opinion. So I really want to clear this up, and I really don't want those dislikes. Okay, so I've seen a comedian that I used to like before, but now he's centered around one person and one person only. If you see his Instagram,
we know who you're talking about. Does that rhyme with Amra?
Yeah, that's Kunal Kamra. So Kunal Kamra is a great comedian. You watch his stand-ups and he is a good comedian. But since last 3-4 years, since Modi got elected, he has nothing to talk about, no comedy, only Modi, and he went from like 60k followers when I used to follow him. Now I checked him out like last week, he had some 930k followers. That is just because he attached himself to one political identity that is so famous, and there are some people that they do not believe to follow Modi. So that's perfectly fine. As a right winger, that's fine. तुम्हें मोदी नहीं पसंद, कोई बात नहीं. हर किसी को सब कुछ पसंद नहीं आता. But again, Kunal Kamra stepped up to the fame game when he was attacking Modi a lot, and you know, then he got support from film industry, from that director. I forgot his name. He works with Kunal Kamra a lot. The director Anurag Kashyap. He got, you know, Anurag Kashyap on board. And
but like
that's pretty
like
shit.
I agree with you, but the thing which is interesting to me is whether it's Quint Neon, yeah, it's Kunal Kamra.
Yeah,
they are not portraying themselves as neutral. Yeah, they're outright saying that we are leftist or rightist, or Modi fans or Modi
haters,
criticizers or haters.
Yeah,
they are not portraying themselves, but the problem is when people who are portraying themselves as neutral, but actually they're not neutral.
Then they pick. Yeah.
That's what causes trouble.